Once we're done with the closure, we're going to move on to homework. What we have for homework is the learner will complete the worksheet with a given word and identify the root word and the word part being added, whether or not it's a suffix or prefix. What we have here is a worksheet. The worksheet has a column for the words, a column for the prefixes, root words, and suffixes. As we have here, the very first word we have is tallest. The root word of tallest is tall. And then you have the est, tallest, as the affix. So you have to determine whether it's a suffix or prefix. And it is a suffix, so they put it in the suffix. And then you continue on down with the other words and complete it. And this is simply to help them out. It kind of gives them a chart and a guide to make sure they understand. That will be done independently, of course, at home, and then return and turn in the next day to be graded. Early finishers. Our early finishers students will write in their journals using the plates, the paper slips that we have for the paper plate earlier. They'll take those slips and continue making up words using prefixes or suffixes with a root word, and they will write them down in their journal. This, again, will be easy for the teacher to go around doing a formative assessment, going by and reading whether or not the student understands whether the prefix goes, the suffix goes, or whether or not they understand what the affix is, if it is a prefix or a suffix. This will be done in a kind of a small group. We'll do a little bit smaller group than normal, maybe just two together beside each other, and get through with that. The special needs. As far as the special needs, the learner will put together parts of an egg to work with prefixes and suffixes. So what we're going to have is we're going to have pieces of eggs here. And what it is the Easter eggs, and it's kind of hard to see, but what you have is you're going to have part of the eggs with prefixes, half of the eggs with suffixes, and then the other half with root words. So they have to put a prefix or a suffix with a root word to make sure they understand. And what we have here is we have delightful. So the suffix is full, the root word is delight, and they put it together to make the word delightful. And then they would have to be fluent in this to move on with the assignment. But this kind of gives them a little bit of encouragement. It's a little bit easier. It's fun putting eggs together. Kids love to put eggs together, so it's kind of fun for them and give them encouragement to do good. Moving on from the special needs, what we'll have next is the remediation. Once we've gone through with the formative assessments throughout with the procedures and other activities, we'll determine which students need remediation. And as far as remediation, what we'll do is we'll go back and pull out our anchor chart again. And with the anchor chart, we'll go back on the words and also use magnetic letters. And these magnetic letters will only have the prefix or suffix on it, and then they would have to make it based off the anchor chart. And again, the students will have to be successfully and fluent in identifying whether or not it's a prefix or suffix and what the root word is. And then we'll try to get at least the suffix and prefix identified, and then move on to how it changed the root word and the new meaning of it. And the students we have to be proficient in this to be able to move on for remediation. And again, this is easy. The teacher's able to go through and look at the magnetic letters to recognize whether or not they have made a correct prefix or suffix and question them on whether or not it's a prefix or suffix. Once we're done remediation, then we'll move on to enrichment. And what enrichment is just simple dice. We have columns here with prefix, suffix, and activity, and they will have to roll the dice and then come up with either prefix, suffix, and the deal. And what they'll do is the learner will get 2 dice and complete an activity. Using the chart below, the students will follow directions on activity cards for words with prefixes and suffixes. So that's what we'll handle with this. After that's done, what we have left is reflective comments, and of course that doesn't come until after we're done with the lesson and figuring out what we need to address, identifying what worked well with this lesson plan. Well, that's my lesson for phonics. Thank you very much.